Well, welcome to 1874 Podcast, Season 2, Episode 2. We've got Alan Dunsmore on tonight. Alan, thank you very much for coming in.
Mate.
This is a first for this podcast because Alan's a former player now. He's transferred over to Rutherglen Glencairn after we announced you to come on the podcast. So it was one of these ones. Will we do it? Will we know? And I'm glad he's come in because he's got a story to tell about being at Arthurlie and his background in football and stuff like that. So thanks very much for coming on, mate. I appreciate it. We've been away for 2 months. I've not done a podcast in 2 months, so it's great to be back. Thanks everybody for likes, shares, comments and stuff like that. The feedback is brilliant. Keep doing it. Please keep posting and help me get this better. So tell us about the transfer, mate. What happened?
Well, obviously I've been injured for November, so I was just getting back, and I think obviously Palmer got sacked. I think it was after the Troon game, and I went and done my first session back on the Monday, Wednesday, and then I can't mind who we had on Saturday, and obviously Gary Carroll and that were taking it. I think I played 45 minutes against Pollock.
Aye.
I came on at half time. Lance got injured. Just kept training, obviously trying to get fitter. And then Colin and Derek come in. Just said to me that I need to get you game time and stuff. So I spoke to him. He phoned me on Monday, talking about going on loan doing a team in the bottom division. And I think about it and I was like, nah, I can't. No disrespect to the bottom division. But if you're playing in the Premier, to go 4 leagues below or 3 leagues below, and then
it's a bit of a drop, isn't it?
I understand like the thought behind it, but
you get you the game time. I
went into him on Monday before training. Says, "Nah, I'm not going to go." Spoke to him about sort of what was going to happen with me. Obviously, I said just getting back from injury, and you get fit, stuff like that. So I said, if you're wanting me still to go out on loan, says if I can find somebody sort of our league or even the league below, would that interest you? And he said, aye, if you can find somebody, let me know, because obviously the deadline was last night or the night or something like that. Aye. So I spoke to a few people, and Rutherglen was one of them. And then Tuesday night I got a phone call and get told that the 2 clubs had spoke and they were just going to make it permanent. So for me it's a fresh start.
Aye.
There's no bad blood at all. It's just a fresh start. I need to get games, I need to get fit.
Absolutely, mate.
Rutherglen's a team I know very well anyway. I know the majority of the boys.
Right.
Also I know Willie when I was at the 21s, he was the manager anyway, the first team. So just when I get the phone call, I was like, aye, it's maybe needed.
Aye.
Know that I was desperate to get away from Arthurlie, but obviously I've had 2 sort of major injuries. Had to think about it, and sometimes maybe it's just your luck.
That's it. Best to move on maybe, and if you feel it inside, then you know it's best to do it. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you want to go and play, especially being out for so long, you want to go and play regularly rather than sitting on a bench. Do you know what I mean? Right, well, we'll dive into more of your backstory with Rutherglen and stuff like that in a couple of minutes. Just want to do a couple of shout outs. First of all, G4 Claims, thank you very much for everything you do, the podcast studio that you gave. If you're looking to get help with any claims, it's a free service. I'll leave the links as usual. Check them out. And thanks again for doing the sponsors. Because we've not done anything in 2 months, there's a lot of shout outs. I forgot happy birthdays and weddings and whatever, but so happy birthday, congratulations, commiserations to everybody. But I just want to say good luck to Palmer at St Cadoc's, McArdle, Ramsey and Rab Kerr, who were the management team, who are no longer with us. And we know that was a bit of a merry-go-round what happened there. Johnny Miller came in, lasted a day, a game, but obviously he's come out and he said that his heart's ruled his head and stuff like that, and he knew his time was up in football. So fair play to him for saying that, do you know what I mean? And wish him all the best in whatever he does now in his retirement and stuff, and his backroom stuff. Couple of new players in and loan for Ayr United, so just welcome to Kinley Billum and Alec, is it Janus?
I'm not sure.
Welcome to the club, guys. I hope you have a good rest of the season for us. Also welcome the new management team, Colin Riley, Derek Wilson, Jamie Hughes, goalkeeper coach Alan Prosser, and physio Colette Fleming. All the best, guys. I've not actually spoke to any yet. I've just been so busy, I've not really got time to do anything with running about the club and stuff. My camera's been good with photos and stuff like that. It's just too much, but I'll get to know you, I'll pester you and get you on the podcast as well. So come back to yourself, mate. Where did it all start for you in football? Were you early age into it?
Aye, very early for what I remember. I think I was playing sort of boys club at 4 or 5, sort of my local team, Mill United.
Right.
I think back when I started, you just went sort of straight for any 7-a-side.
Aye.
And then I think you get to about the age of 10 or something, or 11, you go into 11s. Your first year non-competitive and then competitive after that.
Aye.
I think I played the first year competitive and then I moved on. Went to Rangers SABC.
Yep.
Spent, I think, 2 seasons there before moving on to Rossville.
At Rangers, how did you find it there?
It was good.
Aye. Was there any noteworthy players there at the same time as you, I reckon? Dates went on to do anything?
I'm trying to think now. It was just sort of, it was a good group of pals, really. I think a couple of them are still playing.
Right.
Sort of similar level and amateur and stuff like that. But it was good. I'm a Rangers fan myself, so
Aye.
even if it's like a supporters club, getting to put the tap on every week was brilliant.
That's a dream, innit? And in that age, you're dreaming your next steps up to go and play for them, innit? And get a run at Ibrox. But so you went on to Rossville then. It's a bit, following him on Twitter now, it's a bit of a hairy place, isn't it? It's like 2 clubs and
I don't know what's happening. I think the juniors have now distanced themselves for the academy.
And I've seen they were saying something about a new badge coming out and a new name, so totally rebranding. It's interesting to see what happens with this level and the level above, obviously, with the open goal stuff that's just happened. I mean, it was like when that happened, everybody was like, oh, this is crazy, what the hell's going on here, a podcast taking out a football team. I actually enjoyed watching it, the documentary. Did you watch any of the stuff?
I watched the episodes when they came out.
And it kind of changed your thought about the whole thing. I mean, they're serious about this, they want to do it. But now that the news has come out he's leaving, it's like he's getting slaughtered left, right and centre off everybody.
Aye.
And you're like, it's this country, man. If you try and do something and try and make, you just get slaughtered. People just don't like to see you do well. Do you know what I mean?
The culture,
it's a horrible culture, but hey ho, maybe if this booms up I might take care. Arthurlie. Joke, no chance. So what was it like there at Rossville then? Was it 14 to 15 you were there, he said?
Aye. I think under 16s and under 17s, I absolutely loved it, mate.
Aye.
Loved it.
Good setup.
Aye. The group of boys we had, the coaches, it was honestly just a pure pleasure to play with.
Right.
Obviously, I'm from Blantyre, so travelling to Bishop Briggs 2-3 times a week wasn't ideal, but if you want to play with the best,
you'll travel. You'll travel.
And the best is what we were at that age group.
Right.
In my first year there, we won Everton, the league, the regional, the Scottish Cup. Scottish Cup was a big one.
It's a big deal, isn't it? The levels and stuff like that. I think
we played Hutchesville in the final.
Right.
who were gone for 3 in a row.
Aye.
They were sort of this formidable force in youth football. The game finished 2 each after extra time, but we battered them, I thought.
Right.
Obviously, they're quality.
Aye.
Absolutely quality, man. The boy, they score first. The boy scores a half volley for 30 yards. Ethan Hamilton, he ended up moving on to Man United.
Right.
I think he's playing in the lower leagues down south now
Right,
as well.
just filled in.
Was actually they're a big name as well. So they were going for 3 in a row. Finished 2 each. They scored in the last minute, extra time, and then it went to penalties. And we won in penalties.
Did you take one?
No. I think I was going to go last or the first sudden death, but thankfully it didn't go that way. The goalie, Graham Milne, he saved 3.
Right.
Something like terrific keeper. But the full squad, all the coaches were brilliant. I learned so much there. Feel like I really progressed a lot there.
Aye.
Then the following season, again, I think we moved league and we had 5 cups or something like that to play for. We won 3 again, the league cup and another cup. And we got to Scottish Cup final again.
Right.
But this time we get beat. I think sort of a couple of weeks before it, we had players leaving and
just upset it.
Other things, and
through it.
I think we just ran out of steam.
Did boys move on to other clubs? Did they go to a higher level or anything? Boys who were playing with?
A couple of boys stepped up in a sort of academy football, first team football. I think there's MD. Not that I can remember. I think there's MD still playing sort of senior anymore.
That's what happens, isn't it? When you're doing well and you're winning these things at that level,
aye,
they'll come and poach you. I mean, there's scouts watching every week and stuff.
So after my second season, sort of the team never folded, but everybody's just sort of went their separate ways. Coaches had other work commitments, and I think we went out winning a trophy again. So it sort of ended on a high, but it was just an absolute pleasure to play with all the boys there.
It's you're saying that the move on, like coaches know that with work commitments. You know yourself, it's hard. I mean, you're trying to coach, you're trying to work full time, play football as well. Do you know what I mean? It's like it is tough today. So hats off to people that do it. Do you know what I mean? And actually find the time to run football clubs and coach Waynes and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's I don't think their misses are very happy, are they, really?
No, definitely not.
I don't know, some of them might like a peace and quiet, but so you were for there on to Blantyre Boys Club, was it?
Aye.
So back home.
Aye,
back to your
sort
roots.
of. I had a couple offers to go to other teams. Sort of stuff happening in your personal life as well. So sort of the travelling became a bit of an issue for me as well. So it was my pal Jack, his dad run Blantyre Boys Club at the time, and he had a good team, a lot of boys that I knew and I'd played against, and I went down and I played I think I played a friendly just before the summer started, and he said to me, "Would you like to sign?" I spoke to him, and Big Lewis Warnock's dad, Freddie, he was a coach here as well at the time.
Right.
So Freddie and Alex took a team, and the two of them are two of the best coaches I've ever worked with. They were so clued up and so knowledgeable.
Right.
It was good. And obviously you're playing with your pals as well.
It's a lot better, isn't it? You're more relaxed, I think, isn't it?
I didn't have the best of times there. That's sort of when the injuries started.
Right.
I think my first season I played about 8 games if I was lucky. I was out doing some extra training with my pal down the park, and I rolled my ankle and ended up snapping all the ligaments. So I was in a moon boot, out injured for about 6 months, come back and got I blocked a shot in training, it happened again.
See, once ankle goes, it's constant all through your life, man. It's horrible. You're still plagued with it?
Aye. So then we come back to pre-season. It was flying. And then we played in the pre-season tournament at Glasgow City Cup.
Right.
Something like that. And I went for a tackle with a boy and my other ankles get caught in the grass.
And stuck.
And the same things happened to the other ankle. That was me again until just about Christmas.
It's never ending, mate.
No, it was...
I think... Now, we'll go into it later about your time at Arthurlie and stuff like that, but you're talking, what, you're 17, 18 there, do you know what I mean? So it's early age in your football career, and you're getting hit with he's at once. I mean, did nothing tell you then? Maybe I shouldn't be doing this.
I think my mum would have preferred if I maybe stopped. I think she get the brunt of most of it. Bless her, but just something inside me says you just need to keep going.
Fair play.
So then I get back, played a handful of games before the end of the season, but I'm not saying that'd have been the difference, but I think if I stayed fit with the boys and that we had, I think we could have went on and done something.
Right.
We fell short of the league 2 seasons, but it was a good group of boys and a lot of boys I'm still in touch with.
Right.
I loved that as well.
Did Lewis play with that team at all?
No, I think Lewis was at Clyde at the time.
Right.
And I think Freddie, in the second season, I think he ended up moving on as well. I think with work. I working with him and Alex, my pal Jack's dad. 2 of them were brilliant.
You were saying that they were brilliant. Did they ever move on to anything else?
No,
because it seems it's a bit of a loss to the football world if you're saying that they were really good coaches, and if they're just coaching at a boys' club, do you know what I mean?
I think Lewis's dad, he still coaches, I'm sure.
Right.
But Alex, he doesn't. I don't think he coaches anymore.
Right.
But I still talk to him now and again and get ideas off him, and he's so clued up in the game.
It's good to have somebody like that for advice, isn't it? To look at and fall back on. Obviously, if you've been there at a young age, you're going to trust him and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And it speaks volumes of him if he's still helping you out. Do you know what I mean? What age are you now?
Me, 24.
24, so still 5 years, 6 years later. Do you know what I mean? He's helping you out. He's probably going to be running about your life as well if you're continuing in what you're doing. So you went to Rutherglen Glencairn then? Was it under
the 21s?
And that was with Andy McFadden?
Aye, Andy and Alex MacArthur were the managers. Aye.
So what was you like then at under 20s? Did he sign you? Aye. It wasn't as if you were signed in and then he took care. He was already there.
No, he was already there.
Right.
Aye. I think they had just won the Scottish Cup against Barhead.
Right.
And then in the summer I got a letter through my door, sort of saying, "Do you want to come along and see how it is?" I think it was one of the coaches for my Rossvale team that had spoke to one of them, and I went along and the standard was great. 21's football, I didn't know what to expect. It was great. They signed me. I think I started at right wing. I don't know how I managed to get myself up there. And then sort of, I think one day a boy never turned up. I actually fancy going back to right back, and I'd played there when I was younger, so I think I had a blinder, and unfortunately
I might say, when you started out with all these teams and stuff, where were you playing? What position were you playing?
When you start out, everybody's a striker,
the goal scorer. Want to be a headline maker.
My grand I gave me £1 every goal I scored. Quickly after that I moved to right back at 7-a-side, then centre back, sort of sweeper. It was 11s and that started, but I was the smallest guy in the park. I don't know whose idea it was to put me back there, but
some best defenders, centre halves and stuff like that have been like that. I mean? You look at boys like Puyol and stuff like that, and they're not the biggest. Do you know what I mean? We've got one at Arthurlie the now, Lance Pearce, he's not the biggest, you know what I mean? But
No,
he plays
just
it.
reads the game so well.
Plays it centre half. He looks as if he's got slippers on at times. You know what I mean, it's the calmest man in the pitch. So obviously you're there with some boys that are now at Arthurlie that were at Royal England then, because I knew some of the players came for there as well.
Well, I was only one that came for the 21s. Kyle Perry, goalie, came.
Aye.
And then he moved on. But the boys for the first team were like Dale, Leyden. I think there was anybody else.
So you were run about these guys anyway. I mean, when you came to Arthurlie, there was faces there that you knew. Do you know what I mean? So that's, again, it's easier, isn't it, to walk into a dressing room and you're seeing people you know and stuff. Obviously, you've got a good team there at Royal Glencairn. You said you won the Scottish Cup with him.
Aye.
So, again, it must be full of boys that were at a decent level. Do you know what I mean? That were good.
A lot of the boys still play junior.
Right.
I think for my first year there, the goalie Chrissy, he's at Darvel. He's a Darvel goalie. The second year when we won the Scottish Cup, you've got boys that a lot of the boys actually play for Royal England.
Right.
They now. A couple of boys sort of just faded away and whatnot, but the quality in that team was frightening, man.
Right.
Frightening. I think again, we maybe just sort of burnt out a wee bit.
Did you get any chances in the first team when you were there?
Aye. So obviously you had Andy and Alec taking the 21s, and then Willie was a first team manager, and there was a coach, George Fotheringham.
I remember George at Arthurlie.
Yeah, he came to Arthurlie as well. Gio was brilliant. He took me into first team training and stuff. I think one game against Irvine Vicks, I think they were a few defenders short, so they took me. I played that game and I think they won the last minute as well.
Right.
And ended up going on and win the league. Went up the next year and I played a couple of minutes and stuff. I think Beeve and Cohen and Rangers.
Right. So it was good getting that experience, wasn't it? And playing against these teams. I mean,
it was different to what I was used to at 21s, that's for sure.
Aye, it's a bit of a step up. Did you notice it physically? Physically
and fast paced.
The pace of the game.
Aye. It's just so intense.
Aye. There's no time, especially if you're a defender as well. Do you know what I mean?
If your first touch is good, that's it. You're done.
And some of the pitches you're playing on as well.
Aye.
I mean, they're
no great.
And like Dunterley, it's so tight. Do you know what I mean? And people hate it when they come and they see it. Do you know what I mean? You're out running about the pitch and you hear opposition when they're training and stuff like that, and or coming out to look at the pitch, and right away, if they've never been there before, they're like,
aye,
fuck,
they don't like it.
No space whatsoever, but that is what it is, isn't it? You just need to get on with it. No room for these prima donnas in this league. Do you know what I mean? So, who did you play in the Scottish Cup when you won that one?
Barhead.
Right.
Barhead, aye. We Andy McLaughlin's team.
Right.
Just need to make sure I get that in there so he knows that.
Aye.
We won 2-0.
Right.
A boy, captain for us, Anton Finn, scored 2. What a player he was.
Right. Where was this played?
Airdrie, Excelsior.
Right. Aye.
It was a decent crowd.
That's funny, that stadium will come up later on in the conversation as well.
That was a decent crowd, that. I think it was live streamed as well.
Right.
It's on YouTube and stuff, so you can still go and watch it back.
I'll do it. I'll go and watch it back and I'll report back to you what your performance was like, mate.
Yeah, it was alright, baby. I get the assist for the second goal.
We'll talk about assists later as well, mate.
But that was a big one for me as well. So that when I went to Royal England, I had all the injuries before.
Aye.
And I just wanted to stay fit. I think the first year, I didn't miss a session or a game. I was there all the time. Second year, same again, there all the time. And then I think it was like February or something, I tore my quad.
Right.
And the semi-final was coming up, I think in 3 weeks. I was starting to panic a bit. I'm like, I'm not going to be fit for this. So I went to see physio and stuff. Got it strapped up mega. Played the semi-final. I think we went in a 4-0 lead 20 minutes in. We were flying, came out of traps flying. Just before half time, I got played in the box and I went to clip a ball and my quad went again. So Andy and Alec and all that, nah, we're 4-0 up, let's not risk it in case we do get to the final. And then again, I just worked with the physio. The final was coming up in like 4 weeks. Worked with the physio, trained on my own. In the final again, strapped it up mega. Also get the assist at the second goal. And I think about maybe 8-7 minutes to go, pull up again. When the recording of the game, you can see me limping off at the end.
Right.
I was struggling to walk.
Not bad.
I'm not getting ahead of myself, but I was thinking, if we win this, I can't run on the park to celebrate.
Roll on.
So at the side of the park, I had the physio sort of strap me out and that to try and make sure I could get up. But that was a great night. Great night, man.
Good celebrations.
Aye.
I bet the quad was alright later on.
It was alright, aye.
After a few shandies. So, ending up with it, did you know that Andy was leaving and where he was going? Did you hear any whispers around?
So that was my second season. We went into the third season. That was got to be my last year at 21s. Obviously get put up to the first team in that a few times. And then in October, and we were playing Wisha, and I got an absolute horror tackle.
Aye.
It was like a 70-30 for me, and I went to clear the ball and strike right through it. The balls get away and the boys come flying in studs up, and my fits clashed with studs.
Right.
It was horrific, man. My fit ballooned right up.
Aye.
It was the night of my wee brother's 18th birthday party too, and before I left the house, my mum's like, make sure you don't come back here injured.
And you do. She knows you too well.
Honestly, it ballooned up, mate. It was awful.
One of the ones you just want to keep the boot on, don't want to take it off.
Honestly, my foot was busting at the boot and everything. I was like, I don't know what I've done here. So get in a changing room, get changed, and I was like, right, I'm going up to the hospital. We had to try and cover it up because it was gone black and blue and it was massive, man. Went up to the hospital. Obviously, they tried to x-ray it and that, it was too swollen. Put a sticky on it, just in case it was broke. I went back on the Tuesday. They took it off and x-rayed it again, said nothing broke. Just all the ligaments and tendons, all the blood had just burst inside the foot. To this day, I don't know how they said it wasn't broke.
Aye. Did you go to the party?
Aye. Didn't help when a bunch of 18-year-olds and all steaming, and
you got a sticky on.
You've got a sticky on, crutches. Showed up to me brother's 18th in shorts. All the boys made sure they rinsed me for that as well, but at least I showed up.
That's it. Can't miss that, mate.
So
how long were you out with that?
It's about 6 months.
Aye.
That was really hard, that. Sorry, the boys were doing well, still in Everton. I get back, I think that was about the middle of the February. Get back, played about 3 games, and then COVID hit.
Aye.
Just cut everything. And I'm thinking to myself, what is my luck, honestly?
It's no luck, mate, is it?
So then, obviously, football got stopped, nobody knew what was happening. And then they said, right, the football's going to start back. And I think it was in July. I think they was trying to start it early.
Aye.
So I had a few phone calls for teams, Rutherglen being one. And then I got a phone call from Andy. He said, look, I don't know what your thoughts are. I'm going to Arthurlie. I'm taking Gio with me. A few boys like Dale, Leyden, stuff like that. And I thought, that's a no-brainer. Andy done a lot for me. Even away from football. Personally, done a lot for me.
He's a good guy, isn't he?
A great guy, mate. So I was like, aye, I'll come. Wee bit hesitant at first because I'm like just a young boy. I'm technically just back for injury. So I think during the lockdown and stuff, I made sure I get extra fit. And I think if you spoke to the boys, I was flying. Like, nobody could keep up with me. I was just miles ahead. I'm not like, being big kid. I just worked so hard to get that fit, because I thought to myself, if I'm going on a junior here, I'm not the most physical, but if I can be fit and I can match who I'm up against, I've got every chance to play. And then I think they said you can play like a contact game, so we played a bounce game between the squad. First 5 minutes, I go to take the ball off a wee Messi, and I think he's caught me with his elbow and I broke 2 ribs. I didn't know until the following week. I think it was a Saturday. We played the amateurs on the Wednesday, and I took the ball down on my chest, and it was like a bomb exploding in my chest. I couldn't breathe or nothing. So I finished that game, and I said to Andy, I was like, I'm going to have to go to the hospital or something.
You can't do anything for broken ribs or not. You just need to...
I was in work, couldn't even lift my arm or nothing.
Just need to let them heal.
So I said 6 weeks, let it heal. Didn't really play or train, and then again COVID hit again, and they scrapped the season. So I think they were letting teams pull out because it was going to be non-competitive technically. It was no promotion, no relegation. So
is it a training exercise basically, isn't it?
Aye. So I thought to myself, again, I'll just go through the lockdowns and get fit, ready to go again. Held off on joining another team, because I think Arthurlie released everybody, said that like you can go as long as you come back type thing, which a few boys done. And then spoke to John at Blantyre Vicks, and I went down there, trained a few times, went to play a game against Irvine Meda and played Boxing Day or the day after, and then again they stopped the football and just called the season again. An
absolute farce, man.
So once again, I spent my time getting fit. Was out running, training myself, training with my pals, putting all the effort in. And I think it was in the March, nearly 2 years ago. Went to hit a penalty against my pal, and something in my groin pinged. I hit the deck. I couldn't get up. So then, I was injured again. They allowed the fit back and back. I think Arthurlie would be coming back in about the May. I think because again they wanted to start in the July.
They did start in July,
because they wanted to try and get as many games as possible in case it get cold again. So obviously with COVID and stuff, the NHS was a bit up in the air with how busy they were with COVID. So I wasn't any sort of priority. Went to private physios before we went back. Then also Big Scotty, seen him when we came in. I was told it was a hernia.
Right.
So I had to wait in the scans with the NHS. I think they sent me for an ultrasound, and then with the follow-up, the GP said to me, with a hernia, an ultrasound isn't really reliable. So I was like, come on, man.
After all that waiting and everything, I mean.
So, again, the season started, and as you know, my boys were flying. It wasn't as if I'm sitting at the side and going, I wish I was fit, I think I could really help the team. The boys hadn't lost a game.
It was, I've actually wrote that down. Was it hard to watch at the side because there was trouble in the league? Because if you look at your stats for that season, right, you played 6 and 12 subs appearances, so not very many in that full season. I think they played 30 odd games, 36 games or something.
Aye.
It must be hard if you're seeing, because they were slaughtering teams, do you know what I mean?
Aye.
And doing it, no just look around there, but it was like great football, do you know what I mean?
They were doing it in style. It was brilliant to watch.
That's when I had kind of first seen you. I just came in round about then as well.
Aye.
And at first I thought you were a coach helping Gummy through his rehab, right? Because you were always out in the pitch here, and I was going, I wonder who that is. And it wasn't a couple of games later, and I said, is that a coach? And someone's like, no, he's a player. And I was like, all right. But with Gummy being injured so early in the season as well,
it was a bad one.
Shocker. Did that help the two of you there getting through that kind of rehab together? Because you were always out doing your warm up and stuff like that. And
I think it was obviously it was good for Gummy to have somebody there, but I felt like it was really beneficial for me. Not that I obviously wanted him injured, but sort of I was myself, just working with Scotty, or not really working with Scotty, because I was still waiting on scans and stuff. So, like you said, I could only go and run straight lines or even jog. I couldn't make contact with the ball or nothing. So then when Gummy got injured and he came back, he gave me a bit of a boost. I had somebody there, somebody who was going through the same thing. And again, like, I would help him. Like Scotty would want to do an exercise and he would use me to help Gummy and stuff. And honestly, I think I was more buzzing than Gummy's dad when he came back. Honestly, I was buzzing for him.
Like, if you're going through that yourself, do you know what I mean? It's tough. I mean, especially when you just came to a new club and you've tried so hard to get yourself, as you said, fit and ready to go in this league. And you know yourself, if they're playing that well, you slot into that team and you're flying as well, because everybody just plays well, don't they? It's like everybody's a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 every week, because
it was brilliant, man.
So Glasgow Uni, freezing cold November, I think it was.
November,
at the Excelsior Stadium. You made the bench. That night was horrible. There, it was freezing cold and stuff like that. Were you there just as making up the numbers on the benches? You seem to get a lot in juniors football. Just they're stripped and stuff. Just to be part of the team, do the warm up and stuff like that.
I think it was a Friday night, wasn't it? I think it was near Christmas time, and boys had obviously had plans, thinking it was going to be the Saturday. Obviously the uni ended up getting their games changed to Fridays and stuff, so I think we were a bit late. I'm sure the bench that night was me, Gummy, Mick and wee Tam, and I think wee Tam was the only fit player. I think Gummy hadn't played or anything yet. I was still injured. I didn't know what was the issue with me, and I think Mick, I can't mind what was wrong with Mick, but he was injured as well. So at the same time we were on the bench buzzing, but sort of praying to yourself,
don't get injured.
I hope nobody needs to come off here, because
you're not really wanting to go in, are you? Especially that big pitch. I mean, a massive big pitch. And it was a fright that night as well. We thought, is this going to be the end of it? Because I think it went 2 weeks, didn't it? And then big Gary Smith does what he does and scored an absolute peach of a header. As I say, that's the first time I'd seen you on the bench and stuff, and obviously as a fan as well, you're wanting to see the new players coming in and see what they've got and stuff.
They'd seen me,
so I think after that it was Christmas break and stuff, and we kind of fell on our arse after that, didn't we? It was kind of
a slow start getting back in it.
1-0's injuries again. People like Dale, I think he got injured in the first game after Christmas, but fourth.
Kicked the ground.
In the first couple of minutes, and then it's just one of them. You're like, what's going on here? I mean, is it the Christmas blues or something? I mean, it's. But fair play to you, were going on and winning as you done. But I was looking through kind of like because I wasn't at a lot of the games then, I was looking through the website today for the match reports by Ross to see what games that you had played in, when was your debut and stuff like that. And the only one I could see after that was away at Rutherglen in the cup.
There was one after that. So I think it was just after Christmas. The NHS phoned me again and says, your waiting list is about 3 years for a scan. So I was like, no, I'm just going private. Big Scotty helped me with that. I think I got a bit of a generous donation for somebody that'll probably want to remain nameless.
Right.
Got an MRI scan up at Nuffield.
Right.
Got the
Is the one at Hydro on it?
No, it's like the West End somewhere.
Right.
I can't even remember where it is, but went up there, got the results. Wasn't a hernia. It was something totally different, something that was treatable for the start.
So it could have been healed.
So I don't think I've ever been so angry in all my life. I obviously sent the results to Scotty, and he's like, I can get you back in 4 weeks.
Right.
4 weeks max. And to his credit, he did. He worked with me. I think I played a few games with the 20s, which again was brilliant. That's a great asset to have.
Aye.
I think.
Unless you're Gary Black and you get sent off for shouting at the
I'm not talking
people on the side, man. What a boy.
Again, it's a big thanks to Vancy and all the guys at the 20s, because like, I don't know how I would be if I was a 20 and a first team player's coming in and taking a position off you just to try and get match fitness. It was a bit of...
Especially if you're flying at the time as well, do you know what I mean?
Which they were. And obviously that was the sort of the first wee glimpse of wee Aaron that we've seen as well. So they were flying. I think that done me the world of good.
Aye.
And then I think we went away to Irvine Vicks.
Right. Because there's no match reports for a couple of games between that and that Rollergun one I was saying, so I was like, I wonder if he has started in any of these games, because I couldn't remember you starting any or getting on.
So my debut was Irvine Vicks. I think we were 2-0 up at the time, and Andy and Gio and that Palmer wanted to get me on about 20 minutes to go, sent me for a warm up, and Big Mick gets sent off.
Oh, is that the one Leyden scored the absolute screamer?
I was left fit.
Aye. I was there that day. How did
do you think it was the only time MD hit the ball clean all day? Leyden's finish.
It was windy and horrible, wasn't it?
That was a brilliant goal. And Mick gets sent off, and I ended up a wee bit nervy and tight. And I think they ended up putting me on for the last 5 minutes. Maybe just to make sure I made an appearance.
That's probably how I didn't see. I was probably sitting like that once.
I got on, I was just dying to touch the ball. And I think first touch went at the park or something.
Well, at least you touched it, mate.
Went on to win that. And then I think we had maybe a league game or two in between it. And also we had the Rutherglen in the West of Scotland Cup, something like that.
And that was a night depleted squad, wasn't it?
Aye.
I think there was only 12 fit players or something for that as well.
I think they changed the team about a lot. I wasn't meant to start, I don't think. And then they came in, named the team, and I was in it. And I thought, right, this is my chance. I've got to take it. If I want to play any part in the rest of the season, I need to play well here.
Aye.
It was a heavy park. It was the weather wasn't great, raining. I think this was like the third time or something they tried to get the game on.
Aye, kept getting postponed.
And I think I had a good game.
Was it not stupid? It was a Wednesday night, wasn't it?
Wednesday night, aye, down Rutherglen. Felt I had a good game. Set up one of the goals, and
you did.
We went on and won 5-0.
Aye.
I think Rutherglen they only had 11 players or something that night.
Big Mick no scored 2 that night or something.
Aye, for centre mid. But no way to talk about that.
Aye, he's big enough, innit? Aye, how did it feel going back there and doing that and having a good game, setting up a goal? It
was weird. I was like, I couldn't make this up. Like, obviously, like my first start would be against Rutherglen. Then I thought back to myself, I think the first time I actually played for Rutherglen at juniors was a friendly against Arthurlie. And I scored that night as well.
You what?
I didn't Glasgow Keen. I
No
scored that
danger.
night. I think Gary Smith scored 5 and all.
Has anybody got this on camera anywhere?
No,
I want to see this
I
goal.
know. You wouldn't believe it.
I don't believe it, mate. It must have been a deflection or something.
And then, obviously, for my first Arthurlie start to be against them,
Aye.
it was just a bit
surreal.
It was weird. I couldn't write it, but I think I must have had a good enough game because on the Saturday they put me in for the start again against Whitlets.
Aye.
I think I played about 60 minutes, and then Chalmers replaced me.
Right.
I think obviously they seen that the legs were heavy.
Aye.
Obviously I was thankful that they trusted me enough to start again. And then for there, sort of just kicked on, and I think I played sort of nearly every game apart from the Mabel game, where we won the league.
Aye. So, did you start to feel part of the squad then, and like you've contributed, like because I know I spoke to another couple of people that have been on it. They've been out. When you say the word invincible, like to go through that season, and you're like, I class you as one because you've played games. 12 as sub, 8 start. You're involved in 20 games. Do you know what I mean? So you're part of the history of the club now. I mean, which will probably, as we keep saying, I don't think we'll see that again there.
No.
I mean, it'd be hard enough to see anybody doing it again, never mind Arthurlie. Do you know what I mean? Especially the level that these leagues are at now. Do you know what I mean?
Standards going up and up.
I think the standard last season, it was all air-replaced because you hadn't got it.
It was a bit of a mixed bag with the conferences. But you hear a few people saying that Arthurlie had the easiest one. A lot of rubbish. Some of the games we had and some of the teams in our conference were great.
But wait, the fight in the team coming back for a lot of being done. And bringing it out the back, especially the Mabel game that we're saying, do you know what I mean? And you can only play what's in front of you, do you know what I mean? And these guys, see if you're on that unbeaten run and going for a title on it, everybody wants to beat you. So they'll try that, it's a bit harder and stuff, do you know what I mean? So I want to say we go to easy, do you know what I mean? But the funny thing is, the ones that won the conferences, 3 of them were all sitting bottom of the Prem just now, do you know what I mean? Well, Arthurlie and Arthur are 12 just now, aren't they, through games played. But if everybody was equal in games with wins, Arthur probably sitting third bottom. But that shows you the strength of that league, the Premier. Did you? We'll go into that later. We'll end this season first. So, as I was saying, did you feel part of?
It was a hard one. If I'm talking about it now, I wouldn't really say I felt part of it.
Right.
It's nothing to do with any of the boys or the management or anything. It was just I didn't really feel that I had an impact. I sort of obviously I played games before we clinched the league, but even if I didn't, I think the boys still going and do it type thing. So it was hard. I tried to make myself feel like it. But probably no. Maybe I'm just too hard on myself.
It's understandable. Do you know what I mean? I know for a fact that when people look back in it in years and years and years to come, your name will be there. Do you know what I mean? And they're not going to go, but you only played 8 games. Do you know what I mean? They'll be like, oh, there's Alan Dunsmore. He played for Arthur. He was part of the Invincible team. Do you know what I mean? So, don't be too hard on yourself, mate. Accept it, right? So, obviously, that kind of season petered out. Did you get injured at the end of that season? Did you finish your season fit? I'd say fit. I think the last league game against Muirkirk, sort of to go invincible. I think we played on the Wednesday night at Arthurlie. It was Bells Hill or something like that. Can't even remember off the top of my head. But it would have been one of them.
I picked up a wee sort of strain. I said to Andy and stuff, and they're like, look, just let's no risk it. With the the West of Scotland Cup again after that. I think it was Hurlford.
Aye.
So like, let's try and get you back fit for that game. So I never played the Muirkirk game either. And then finished against Hurlford. Obviously we get beat. But I thought we were really good that day again.
Aye, everybody I've spoke to on that's been on has said the exact same. It's just one of the days, just wasn't getting in, and plus I think we had 8 fit players or something.
A small squad. Because I think that game ended up 3 weeks after the Muirkirk game or something.
Aye.
Just because of the Premier, because they had 20 teams, their season ran on and on.
It was ridiculous waiting on that.
Ended up a bit of a mess trying to get it all finished, didn't it? But
and imagine if you'd went on for how long would the season went on?
I know, well, I think
Hurlford
went on and won that, didn't they?
Aye.
And I think they got a week off or something, or 2 weeks half and they're back in.
Madness.
Crazy, innit?
So we're going to go and do a bit of fans' questions now. Before that, I just want a wee shout out to Jam Jar, who are one of our sponsors. Thanks very much, guys, for helping out the podcast. If you're wanting any good scran, go down to Shuttle Street in Paisley and check it out. It's a cracking wee place. Fantastic scran, pizza, pasta, cocktails for the ladies, all that. Really nice setting. So go and check them out. Alright, I'll leave a wee link as usual. So, fans' questions, right? You've probably seen a few of the your social media. You've probably been digging. First up is another former player, Aaron Healy, and he's saying, what's your aim for the rest of the season, and do you realise how technically good you are?
I don't know where he's pulling that for. So my aims for the rest of the season now are just
stay fit.
They've stayed the same and they've changed obviously because I've now moved. But staying fit, getting a run of games under my belt and finishing the season as strong as I can. The technically gifted thing, I don't know where he's got that for.
Hey, well, obviously see something.
I think it's a couple of the outside of the fit shots last year, maybe. That'll be what it is, but
or maybe you're selling yourself short, mate. But
I'll take a compliment of somebody as technically gifted as we are in. So
well, that's what he's playing at that level now. Do you know what I mean? So,
he's just took to it like a duck to water, isn't he?
He's got to start playing him a bit more as well.
Aye.
It's all sub now. But when he's come on, he's done well. So here's hoping the more he goes on, the more money we get, obviously. Thanks very much, Aaron, for your question. Next one is for Dean Lawrenston.
That's my pal, Dean.
What was the hardest and why your first or second Scottish Cup win?
I think it's hard to say one was harder than the other. If I had to choose one, I'd say the 21s. Because obviously you're sort of grown men at this point.
Aye.
It's a lot more demanding, physical, and I think the finals on a Friday night, I had an 8 to 5 shift and
right.
work, and then
out
go and play the final, and you're out to middle of the night, and I think we had a game again against Barhead on the Monday.
Right.
So I would say that it was a lot more physically demanding. Obviously, you're a grown man.
Aye.
I had an injury and stuff, so I would say that. But the two of them were two of the best days of my life. That's
it. You've got good memories. Thanks very much, Dean, for your question. The next one's for Halls on Twitter. Is this?
That's my brother's girlfriend.
Right.
Aye.
I thought it was somebody that you knew. What's the best stadium you've ever seen?
Right, I'm a bit of a fan. So anywhere I go, I'll go and do a stadium tour or something.
Absolutely love it.
I think obviously being a Rangers fan, I'm going to say Ibrox, but
the greatest site you've ever seen.
Outside of that is Spurs.
It's some size, that thing, isn't it?
Frightening, mate, honestly.
I went past it in a train and looked and I was like, what?
It was
couldn't believe how big it was.
Just after COVID we went and done it, me and my girlfriend, and it's frightening.
Inside it must be, because it's all brand new as well. Do you know what I mean? The seats, the padded seats and all that carry on. USB chargers and all that.
But if our team's playing in that stadium should be the best team in the world. Honestly, it's mind blowing.
And the team they've got in the pitch are absolute dire, aren't they, man?
And that was at empty too. I'd love to see it full with a bit of atmosphere. And
have you been to Berlin, Olympic Stadium?
No, we want to go there soon.
I took my son there a few years back now. Wow. It's like, it's got a 13-storey car park underneath it and stuff.
What is it?
It's a phenomenal stadium.
We went to Madrid in August. I think obviously any boy growing up with football loves Real Madrid. Or they know about them, it's iconic. Went to do a tour of the Bernabeu and it was under construction.
So still waiting to do the rest of it.
You might have seen my face when we walked out and it was
Skinner.
No grass, no seats, it was just all bulldozers and cranes. I nearly started greeting, honestly.
That's on my bucket list to go and do that. I like that stadium. What's another one I done abroad? Nou Camp. Nou Camp. Massive. When you're doing it at pitch level. And you're just like...
we were right up the top. It's like you can look out the back end.
That's scary, isn't it? Because it's like no barrier kind of thing, isn't it?
But we went there last year as well. Like you just missed Messi. But I'm a football fan. I love doing all that. The boy that was at Arthurlie on the YouTube, Sam North, a couple of weeks ago with Stephen. What a job he's got. I know.
Just goes round the whole world doing that, man. That would be class. He's obviously got a bit of money face on there, hasn't he?
He's got to,
Daddy helping him out. Thanks very much for your question, Hull. She's got another one, but I'll bring that up later.
Right.
Another former player, Div Mackay. I think this might be a bit of a wind up. What's his favourite book to read at the pool on holiday?
I don't know where he's got that way.
I'm like, has this been a conversation in the dressing room or something?
He must be bored in his retirement.
Maybe he's looking for some inspiration. He's gone on holiday, because he's always on holiday, isn't he? He's away everywhere.
Well, I couldn't tell you last time I picked up a book.
I'm
usually at the pool volleying a ball a bit, and my girlfriend's trying to sunbathe, and
usual. No time for books.
No, I'm just battling a ball a bit everywhere.
Cheers for the question, Div. Next one is for Jackie Brown.
That's my mum.
Hello, Mum. Who inspired you to play football?
If we're talking about a player, it's Ronaldinho.
Right.
Any of my pals not know, I was obsessed with him. Just watching him on the telly just made you want to play football.
It was different class, wasn't he? Always a smile on his face.
It wasn't just the football side of things. He was always happy, and his smile was infectious. It was great to watch. But then you get older and you realise he was at partying and
he's a bit mental. Did you see the story about him with getting a fake passports to go to Bolivia and get jailed? But it turns out to go to Bolivia for Brazil, you actually don't need a passport.
He's one of the most famous faces in the world, and he's got a fake passport.
You couldn't make it up, man, could you?
Then you see all the pictures and that, and in the jail, and he's still kicking a ball.
To be honest, he could probably still play.
100%.
I think he's only 41 or something. I thought he was a lot older.
I think he retired quite early.
I just remember him in Barcelona and before Messi came through and stuff. I think when he first signed, the first goal he scored at the Camp Nou, he took it for his own half, skin it in a rocket right off a bar in, wasn't it?
That game was played at like 12:30 at night. That's how hot it was.
What a talent, man. I can see why he would inspire you. So thanks very much, Jackie, for your question. Next one is from your brother. Who's the best player you've played with? Brother's not included in this. So obviously fancies himself as a bit of a player.
could never get round me right enough, but best player I've ever played with. There's a few. I'm trying to think, obviously, who I played with sort of the longest as well, because the injuries have sort of stopped me. I'd probably say, obviously, wee Aaron's up there, but I didn't really play with him for too long.
Aye.
Anton Finn.
Right. That boy who scored the 2 in the final.
I played with him at Rutherglen's 21s.
Right.
Frightening. See, when he wanted to turn it on, man, he was unstoppable.
Aye.
I think one game we played Tower Hearts, which were sort of our rivals at 21s. He was in front of me, he was right wing, sorry. And if you know Anton, he doesn't really... He's just a ball player. His quality's unbelievable, so I think it was a tense game and stuff. Tackles flying in. I felt I was on my end on the right, so I was shouting at him, like, you need to help me out, blah, blah, blah. And 5 minutes to go, we got a throw. I shy the ball into him, takes a touch, megs the boy and bends it top corner. Just looks at me. I was like,
is that enough?
I was like, do you know what? You don't ever need to come back again.
Aye. Just stay forward and I'll get it.
But again, in that Scottish Cup final, even the goal I assist him, he takes a touch and he bends it top corner.
Aye.
Like it's effortless.
Right.
It was frightening.
It's good to have players like that in your team, innit?
Aye, run about Megan boys and just laugh. And
as if it was nothing to him.
He loved football and all when he was playing, I think. I'd say him.
Good stuff, man. Cheers for the question, Jack. Next one is for a good pal of mine, Big Craig. How did the managerial upheaval affect you personally and the dressing room as a whole? Was it detrimental in you guys finding a level of consistency at an important point in the campaign?
For me personally, it was a weird one again because I was injured. It's a results-based business, and for whatever reason we weren't getting results sort of for Christmas onwards, apart from obviously the Darvel one. I think we were maybe a bit unlucky at times. Some games the boys, we just didn't show up. And obviously Palmer left, Johnny Miller came in, and it was a bit all over the place. But sort of when Palmer left, the boys, I think we all kind of looked at each other and went, right, we need to get together, or this is going to go bad. So again, like Gaz, Noodles, Lance, all the senior boys and that were brilliant. We all really pulled together.
Aye.
The games that like Gaz and that took charge, I think you could see the performance was there, the effort and the attitude and stuff. We were just unlucky again with results. Like,
when your luck's down at that level, man,
that's it.
That bottom of the league round about there, nothing goes for you.
But again, we just stuck together. We kept believing. Well, it will change. The luck will change. Winning, we were unlucky. I think Pollock, we get beat 2-0, but that wasn't a true reflection at all.
I wasn't there, but I heard the first half you absolutely battered them. And should have.
Unlucky. Obviously, McGregor misses a penalty. A few chances were unlucky. They get a penalty. We got a man sent off, and they score a second in the 97th minute when we're down to 10 men chasing an equaliser. It was either going to end up 1 each or 2-0. It was just.
Do you know what? Go for it.
Aye, I would rather go for it.
You're getting beat anyway. I mean, it's
so we're unlucky, and then I think again we go together on Monday at training. Great session again, and then Colin and Derek and stuff come in the Wednesday. Saturday we go and play. Who was it last week?
Last week was Meda, but it was Cumnock the week before that.
Cumnock, that was it. Cumnock. Went and played Cumnock. Boys were brilliant. Even we go down to 10 men again, stuck together and got the result and the performance. And if you were in that changing room, the boys, we all knew that was coming.
Aye.
I'm not taking it away from Colin or that, because also they've come in, they changed the system and it worked. And they've done it 2 weeks in a row now, so
maybe that was a spark it was needed. Do you know what I mean?
Full credit to them. Again, 2 good wins now in a row. Again, keeping a clean sheet on Saturday was
and 2
brilliant for the
teams
boys.
that they just beat were running about 4th and 5th in the table. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
So you're not playing mugs, but that's the story of the season. They've been beating the teams at the top of the league and struggling against the teams at the bottom. And you see how they can play, you see the effort, you know what I mean, and the quality. And then just sometimes it just wasn't. It was bamboozling at times, mate.
It was.
And every time you speak to players and stuff like that, it's the same. There wasn't really an answer for it. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's one of the weirdest sort of situations I've been in football. Because like, the effort that was there, like, the Peter's Hill game, for example, we worked our socks off, and you go and take a lead in the 89th minute, and then 93 minutes we get beat 2-1. It's nobody could put
I
it
thought
together.
that was a wind up. I wasn't at the game when I was getting texts from Big John Miller, and he's like 1-0 McGregor. I was like, yes. And then so I was like, last minute I was away and work doing things, and I come back and I was like 2-1. I was like, yeah, he's at it.
They didn't look like scoring the full game too. It's just nobody could put it together. And I think even if you're to look at it in a year's time and watch it all back, I don't think you could put it together still. It's just unfortunate, maybe. Bad luck.
Aye, bad luck. I'm putting it down to me. So thanks very much, Craig, for your question here. This headphones doing my nothing. Craig's got a wee podcast himself. What's the script it's called? I sponsor them through my multimedia stuff that I do. It's cracking. If you're a movie buff, check it out. It's a good part of the review all these movies, and it's nails and graces about it. It's F and P's and Q's, and it's really good. He's got a huge following for America, strangely enough. But
that's good.
I don't know if they use subtitles on it. They need to, because it's just 2 Glaswegians.
Don't know if it.
Really good. So check them out. What's the script it's called? I'll leave a link for them again. Right, we'll go into this season, mate. Before that, actually, just a wee shout out to Club Shop Direct, who you can get your pin badges and athlete hoodies and t-shirts and stuff off of. Derek will sort you out. Just check them out on Facebook, Twitter. I'll leave a link for them as well. Thanks very much. So this season you started pre-season. Neilston, bang, head injury, and you're cutting about
Dunterley.
You're cutting about like Dado Purcell, that big band on your head. Were you thinking again, oh, here we go, another one? Do you know what I mean?
I think Big Scotty butchered me a wee bit with the bandage. My nails, but
I think that I've got a photo of you, and it's got a bit out the back, and it's like a Karate Kid or something.
I just a head knock on it, and I thought, here we go, but it was alright, to be fair.
Aye, well, that's it, because you were back for the next game, weren't you? And then it was a bit of a weird one there, because Andy had left after the Socky game. Palmer comes in. I don't think there was much of a change because he was already there. Do you know what I mean? It seemed to go easily. I think we played B. That was his first game.
Aye, no Monday night.
We won 2-1. Fair enough, we played them twice this season, beat them 2-1, and we're playing them
the
Mora, so hopefully it's 2-1 to Arthurlie again. The Medernine men game, you came on just after Leyden get sent off, right?
I came on with Big Kyle.
So it's hard enough then, and then you see Kyle getting sent off. You must have been, what's going on here, man? I've just come on, and when you're doing 9 men, you know you're going to get slaughtered, don't you? You're going to get pile everything on.
I think I just come back for holiday the day of 40,
and it was hot that day.
It was roasting, man. Absolutely roasting. Again, I think there was a bit of no pressure, but I think we hadn't won a game yet. I think all three of the conference teams that come up hadn't won a game, hadn't had a point.
Aye.
So the pressure was sort of on. I think it was 3 games in or something.
Aye, because Clydebank, Glenafton.
Aye.
And then down there, wasn't it?
And then, again, we fought for our lives. Bit of magic for Dale and we Aaron.
That fantastic for Dale.
The celebrations were brilliant as well, man. It was...
I lost all control. I was right in the corner ways, man. But there you could see early on. I mean, if you can go there with 9 men and pull a result off, you're not a mug team. Do you know what I mean? You've got fight about you. So that's how we've been saying. It's a bit of a strange up and down season with whatever it is. I don't know. There was another bit of a season that stood out for me. It was away to Hurlford. And Dale plays you in that, and you spotted it right away. Nobody can see it. I'm kind of right in line, but what a pass, and you've read it perfectly right through the defence. Square it into Big Gaz and buries it, and what a goal, man! Fantastic. And he chops it off, and you're like, I'm running down the line with a camera showing it.
You're perfect in line to it.
God, how what are you seeing there, mate? Because even you're in line with the ball, playing it in him. You can see that he's onside. You know what I mean? And then he comes up to you after the game and apologises.
It's just
made the meal it, but it's not even tight, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Again, it was a tight game. That probably gives us a wee cushion.
Aye.
Like I said to Gaz, I went, next time I'm through, I'm not passing to you. But obviously, big guys, you need to give him the ball, didn't you? So
a real moan.
But that was another good one.
You were flying a good game that day, man. Do you know what I mean? So you feel as if you're getting into a swing of it. You're getting back to a bit of
consistency
and and as again, I missed a few games and stuff, so I was looking at the reports and how I could see was coming up away and you came off.
That was the game I got injured.
So is that what it happened? Injury? And
I don't even know how it's happened. Still to this day I don't. But I've ended up breaking a vertebrae in my back.
See, when you told me that, I was like, what?
All the joints then locked and stiffened up. So I tried to keep playing, and Palmer and that have obviously noticed I'm not running right. I don't run right at the best of times, but they took me off. I think for coming up to mine's a bit of an hour journey, and I'm not lying when I say it took me about 3.5 hours to get home.
I had to
stop on the side of the motorway and everything. I couldn't drive.
Just the way you were sitting,
my back was killing me. I'm like, there's something not right about this. So I think I missed. I went to physio instead of training. Big Scotty done what he could. We weren't getting any relief. I think we were meant to play Pollock and the game got called off.
Aye.
So we trained instead. I tried to train. 5 minutes in, that was it. I think I tried to play a pass from my left foot. That was in agony.
I
said to Palmer, I need to come off. Then again, working with Scotty, don't know what's happening. What the sort of process is for this. Sort of you're telling people I broke a vertebrae in my back. They're just looking at you like, that can't even be happening surely. So it was a weird one. Scotty got me into chiropractor on his work sort of when it healed. I still see him now. Sort of getting at the other end of it now and can start playing again. Just obviously need to be careful. But that's what I mentioned, Big Scotty. What he done for me at Arthurlie was unbelievable.
That's another one he's left as well. Best of luck, Scotty, for where he going to now, mate. He was best in the future.
He was brilliant. No, just sort of with the recovery, get me back to football mentally. I deal with a bit of mental health myself. And there was times I'm turning up to see him and get a bit of treatment and I'm like to him, mate, what's the point? There's no end to this. And he kept me going. And I really appreciate everything he done for me. Even now, messaging me saying, if you need anything, come see me.
Good stuff, that's good to hear.
He was a great guy.
Excellent.
Great guy, I wish him all the best.
Aye, so do we. So I think that was your... was it that would have been your second last, because your last game for Arthurlie ended up Pollock away, didn't it?
Aye.
So at least you've played in that game.
Oh, that was a bit hostile, that. Aye.
I've never been, didn't go to it, I was working, couldn't get to it. No, I wasn't working. Do you know what I done? I didn't look at a calendar for the games, and me and the missus hadn't been out in a long time because of the weightings and everything, work. And I says, do you want to go for something to eat? On Saturday we'll go early. I finish work at 2 o'clock, blah blah.
Aye.
And then, okay, we'll book somewhere. And then looks at the calendar, Pollock away. I was like, how do I can't cancel this, man. So I'd done the right thing.
Aye.
I don't think I'd have been back at any games after that. So I was gutted, but hopefully get to see one next season if we stay up and stuff. But it's a kind of crap way to bow out, isn't it?
That's not the way I would have wanted. I wasn't desperate to leave and stuff. Also, I'm excited with my new start. Full focus is now in Rutherglen. But I loved every minute at Arthurlie.
Aye.
Honestly, even through the injuries, I've met pals for life.
Right, good.
Made memories for life. It was just brilliant.
Aye.
Brilliant.
You know you're welcome back anytime, mate. And
I'll definitely be up to see the boys for the end of the season.
Because you've got even the fans and that, like, you know what I mean, round about, you talk to a lot of them and stuff. So we're going to go into a wee bit about, you started a football team yourself.
Well, me and my pals, aye.
And that's the other question for Holly. She's asked, what inspired you to start your own team? So if you just want to tell everybody what's happened, right? What inspired you to start a football team, and then what came for that? What's her name? Where did it play?
So it was sort of post lockdown, when the Fitband stuff was coming back. My pals were all playing Sunday amateur, and they were playing for this team, and they weren't getting their game time and stuff. No disrespect to the boys that were playing for the team, but the boys should have been playing. They were miles better. There's like, I'm chucking it. My pals go and sit in the pub at the weekend and get drunk, blah blah. And I'm like, nah, don't. You're still young. You can still go and play football and enjoy yourself. So we're sitting in my pal Dean's. After one game, they didn't get on or something. And Dean, for his bright ideas, he's like, let's start a team. And I was like, no ball, it grows arms and legs and then it just falls away. So there was myself, Dean, my pal Alistair, Thomas and Cameron, sitting in Dean's, and it just filled up the full day. We came up with a name.
And what are they called?
Blantyre United. My pal Alistair, he does like the graphics like yourself and stuff.
His graphics are outstanding, man.
He's good at it.
I love seeing your team come up and see what he's got next to that. He's got a really good consistency with him. Whereas I like to chop and change. I like it different every bit. He's got his spot on all the time.
It's brilliant, especially for Sunday League. So he created a badge. I think it was about September. So we were like, maybe it's probably too late to join a league. We hadn't had any players together. So first session, go down the public park, put it out to our pals, people we played with. I think about 40 boys turned up.
Aye.
we thought we were lucky to get a kick a bit. About 40 boys turned up.
That's outstanding, man.
It was that was surreal.
Aye, seen that must have made you feel really good seeing that.
Aye.
I mean,
so I think we'd all agreed that I would take on the role of manager, because I'd done coaching and stuff at college. It's something that I'm passionate about. And also at the time I was injured. And in Scotland, if you're playing junior, you can't play amateur as well.
aye.
Whereas down in England, it's a bit different. So I thought, I'll take that role on. But we'd agreed that we would just play friendlies for a season, sort of to see who would stay where, who would fall away. And then Alistair got in touch with somebody at the Airdrie and Coatbridge League.
Right.
And they said, we've just had a team pull out. We're only 3 games in a season. Would you just come and fill the spot? And we're like, aye, go for it. Well, I had my hands up. I was a bit hesitant.
Right.
All the other boys were wanting to do it, and I was maybe thinking about what if they all fall away and blah blah, but we went for it. It just became a snowball, and everything was 100 mile an hour. It was.
Is it you and your pals in the committee as well then?
Aye.
Same boys?
The same boys, plus another one of our pals now's on it, Darren.
Right.
So I was.
So you've had to do everything for scratch, a badge, strips,
strips.
where you're playing. Do you know what I mean? A full committee.
It was a whirlwind. Sort of. We took the first game. First game was against Mill United, which again was quite surreal.
Aye.
Because not just myself, it's a team that a lot of boys grew up playing with.
Because it's a local area.
Aye. And I think Big Alistair and my pal Thomas were my coaches as well. And I think we set sort of goal that didn't really know MD, played with a team, blah blah, barely played. We said, first 4 games, we'll give everybody a chance. Everybody will get the same amount of minutes, whatever position they want to play, and we'll take it for there. First 4 games, we go and win all 4. We beat the team that was at the top of the league at the time twice.
Right.
Mill United were top at the time, beat them first game. Played Cumberland Colts, they were top at the time, beat them. And then we thought, right, let's go for it.
Right.
We get kits made for scratch. The social media was taking off. It was a whirlwind. And we were unbeaten up until January, and I stepped away from the manager role.
Aye, when you saying that, what was it? Just too much?
Aye,
taking on too much at once.
Aye, I think it's my fault. I overworked myself a bit, and at the time,
but you can get invested so much in everything, can't you? And you forget.
Aye,
time for yourself.
Definitely. And I think I was just coming back from injury at the time as well, and I'm like, right, I need to sort of focus on playing now.
Aye.
And Thomas, he took care.
Right.
Again, I still stayed part of the committee, still at every game, every session with the boys. And they go and win the league unbeaten their first season.
Phenomenal, man. Absolutely phenomenal.
I think we go and win a cup, the League Cup as well.
Right.
Unlucky in a few other cups. But an invincible double in your first season.
You put a marker down, hadn't you?
And for me, it's more pleasing to see that these boys now have somewhere to go, and something to look forward to every week. But not just the boys, we've got a good solid group of fans, or supporters, that come every game, and for me that's massive.
You're saying the boys were in the pub and they're up before doing this, so we're ready for trucking and stuff, and now they've got a purpose, whereas a lot of them could have just went the wrong road after that. Do you know what I mean? So think of what you've done there. You've created something that's it's worthwhile in people's lives, and gave them a bit of meaning. Do you know what I mean? So all credit to you for that, mate.
And now they can go to the pub when they win trophies.
That's the best time in it to do it. So you went back as manager?
Aye, in September of this season. Thomas sort of took the role on as player manager. And in September he said to us, look, I really just want to play.
Aye.
So like, it's fair enough. Like, he's the same age, so we got it, we understood it. I didn't really know if I wanted to go back in and do it. I thought about it for a few days or a week. I said to him, look, I'll do it if you'll have me again. They said aye. And I've been doing it again ever since. Boys are flying again. We've got a cup final coming up. We've got 2 games left in the league. We win the both of them, we win the league.
Excellent.
But it's against the teams that are the 2 closest to us.
Right, so big games.
Big games. Still in another 2 cups. They're absolutely flying. It's an absolute joy.
Well, I wish you all the best in it, mate. I hope you're successful with it, because it's an amazing story. It's like Football Manager come to life kind of thing, do you know what I mean?
It's like a second full-time job.
And you guys, the one used to go on to social media and follow them. Make sure you're following on Twitter,
Facebook, Instagram.
Give them likes, share their stuff, even go and support them, help them out. And we're calling on Arthurlie fans to be doing that. Rutherglen fans now, they'll be watching you. Last wee bit on Untangle, my men's talking group that I'm opening up, and I'm getting a podcast done for that as well, mate. We spoke about mental health and stuff before, right at the start when I was starting my podcast, and I want you to come on to this new podcast if you would.
Definitely.
And we'll hear another story for you. I don't know when it'll be, mate, but I'll get in contact with it. Obviously, I'll keep in touch.
Aye.
You're forever and invincible, as we've said, mate, right? So best of luck to you with Rutherglen. I hope you have a great season. I hope you stay fit. I hope you get a goal.
Aye.
That's what we're going to say. King of assists, because it was assists. I kept saying to you, didn't I, every week? I'm wanting 2 this week and stuff. Any shout outs before we go?
I need to get a shout out to my pal Big Muncher.
Right.
I'll miss him a lot. He's a great guy. A lot of great guys and people around the club.
Aye, it's a good club.
I've loved every minute, and I just want to wish everybody all the best.
Excellent, mate. Thank you very much. Best of luck, and hopefully see you on our travels, mate. All right.
Thank you.
Take care.